What if I told you that some animals are walking biochemical puzzles, carrying protein structures so strange that scientists can't stop scratching their heads? These proteins aren't just odd. They bend the rules of life itself, fueling survival tricks from glowing in the dark to regenerating whole limbs. And today, we're diving into the top 10 animals with the most unique protein structures ever discovered. Let's start with a creature that defies death, the tardigrade. When almost any other organism would be fried, frozen, or dehydrated beyond repair, the tardigrade strolls through apocalypse-level conditions. How? A bizarre protein called Dsup, or damage suppressor, wraps around its DNA like a molecular shield. Imagine a suit of armor so strong it protects you from cosmic radiation. Scientists think one day this tardigrade trick might help preserve human cells during space travel. Would you take a dose of Dsup before blasting off to Mars? From survival to venom, the cone snail carries proteins that make both biologists and doctors lean in closer. This little snail injects a cocktail of conotoxins, tiny protein fragments that shut down nerves with pinpoint precision. What's wild is that each species of cone snail has its own unique blend, like a custom-made lockpick set for the nervous system. Some of these proteins are now being studied for painkillers more powerful than morphine, but without the addictive crash. Who knew a slow-moving snail might hold the key to solving the opioid crisis? Speaking of strange solutions, the glass frog offers a translucent window into biology. At night, this frog becomes almost see-through, and part of the trick comes from specialized proteins in its blood that let red cells clump in its liver without clotting or killing it. No other animal seems to manage this balancing act. Doctors studying strokes and blood clots are paying close attention because what protects a frog from glowing predators in the rainforest might one day protect humans in hospitals. Now, picture a jellyfish, not for its sting, but for its glow. The crystal jellyfish produces green fluorescent protein, or GFP. This protein has transformed modern science, literally letting researchers light up cells in neon green to track everything from cancer growth to brain activity. The protein itself is elegant and simple, yet no other natural structure has been so widely borrowed by labs worldwide. One jellyfish's glow has turned into one of the greatest scientific tools of the last 50 years. Enter the axolotl, a salamander that regrows entire limbs. Inside its cells are unique proteins that reprogram surrounding tissues, telling them, "You're not scar tissue, you're new arm material." This regenerative blueprint is unlike anything in mammals. Scientists are desperate to decode these proteins because unlocking them could one day let humans heal from spinal injuries or regrow lost limbs. Imagine hospitals where amputation doesn't mean permanent loss. From the regenerator to the immortal jellyfish has a protein-based trick no one fully understands. Instead of dying after reproduction, it triggers proteins that reset its cells back to an earlier stage of life. It's as if your body decided to reverse engineer itself back into a teenager. We don't know exactly how it works, but the proteins involved hint at an evolutionary cheat code that could change how we think about aging itself. Next, let's talk about the bombardier beetle, nature's chemical weapons engineer. Its defense relies on a protein-controlled reaction chamber inside its abdomen. Enzymes rapidly break down compounds into boiling sprays of toxic chemicals that explode out with audible pops. The protein structures here are so unusual, they function like miniature combustion engines. Engineers study them as blueprints for safer, controlled chemical reactions in industry. Now, if you think proteins can't get any stranger, the horseshoe crab is here to prove otherwise. Its blue blood contains a protein called limulus amebocyte lysate that clots instantly in the presence of bacterial toxins. This protein is so sensitive it's used worldwide to test medical equipment and vaccines for contamination. It's not just unique, it's indispensable. Nearly every syringe, implant, and IV bag you've ever seen has been certified safe because of proteins from this ancient crab. At number 9, we meet the icefish of Antarctica, whose blood contains anti-freeze proteins. Instead of crystals tearing its cells apart in sub-zero waters, these proteins latch onto forming ice and stop it cold, literally. This protein structure is unlike anything else, working as molecular frost armor. Researchers wonder if one day these proteins could protect human organs during freezing for transplants. Finally, the Komodo dragon rounds out our list with proteins in its blood that work like super antibiotics. Despite carrying mouthfuls of deadly bacteria, these reptiles rarely get infections. Their blood proteins shred bacterial walls with brutal efficiency. With antibiotic resistance on the rise, Scientists are studying these proteins as templates for the next generation of life-saving drugs. Who knew the world's largest lizard might hold the answer to medicine's most urgent problem? So there you have it, 10 animals whose proteins aren't just oddities of nature, but potential blueprints for humanity's future. From tardigrade DNA shields to Komodo dragon antibiotics, these proteins push the boundaries of what life can do. Each one is a clue, a living puzzle piece in biology's most fascinating game. The real question is, which of these proteins will we harness first and how will it change us?